Hey guys, before this video gets started, I just wanted to say thank you so much to those of you who are subscribing, but 90% of you are still not subscribed, so if you would please hit the subscribe button, I would appreciate it greatly. Without further ado, please enjoy the video. Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to be going over the archery skill tree and the easiest way to farm experience efficiently. We will not be going over the damage of each skill, but we will be going over some of my favorite skills and why I like them. Now without further ado, please enjoy the video. The first thing we'll be going over is what most of you came here for, farming experience efficiently. The first thing we're going to need is a shield. Any kind of shield will work, whether it's crafted, found, or a rusty shield. The next thing we will need to do is turn the shield around like so, to where the handle is facing towards us. We would then be taking a bow and some rusty arrows and shooting them into the shield like so. Depending on the shield depends on how many arrows you can shoot into it. For this small shield you can only shoot up to 3, whereas for the larger shield you can shoot up to 5. As you see, when trying to shoot in more than 3, the first one that you shot does fall out. You can find rusty arrows in the chest scattered around in the Dust Bowl, near Town Hall, and in the Mountain Pass. We are using rusty arrows as they do the least amount of damage. The less damage they do, the more experience we can gain. We gain more experience because experience is based off of how many hits you get, not how many enemies are killed. We will then take our shield and head to where we are going to farm the XP. After arriving, we would then be going up to our first Gotera. Holding the shield in front of us, it will block the attacks of the Gotera. We will then be hitting the Goteras in a spinning motion, like shown. As you can see, when using the rusty arrows, they will cause them to break, meaning you will have to refresh your arrows every so often. Repeating this step multiple times will gain us enough experience to visit the shrine. The archery shrine is located to the right of Town Hall, underneath the rocks and through the pond. Once arriving, we will head up the mountain, and turn right. Placing our hand on the pedestal, we will see a list of all of the archery skills. The first skill we will see on the left is Quick Shot. Quick Shot increases the power and speed of an arrow slightly without having to charge the arrow. The middle skill we will see is Gathering. Gathering allows the archer to shake a bag of feathers, toss them to the ground, and pick up any nearby feathers of the same type. The rightmost tier 1 we will see is Bullet. Bullet creates a power arrow that will deal heavy damage to the target. The next tier we will be seeing is Stage 2. Quick Shot Stage 2 increases the damage of an arrow, but not the speed. Gathering Stage 2 allows the archer to shake a bag of arrows, quickly picking up any surrounding arrow, whether they be shot or just lying on the ground. The next skill we will be seeing is the second stage of the Bullet skill. Bullet Stage 2 only increases the damage of the bullet. Finally, we'll have access to the skill Multi-Shot. Multi-Shot will charge a second arrow, allowing for a phantom arrow to appear alongside the bullet arrow. Shooting this deals up to 50% damage of the original arrow. The third tier of archery skills begins with Quick Shot. Quick Shot Tier 3 will increase the speed and damage of the arrow to its maximum potential. This is mainly dependent on what the arrow is made out of. Next, we have Bullet Stage 3. The third tier of bullet increases the damage even more. Next, we have Multi-Shot Tier 3. The third tier Multi-Shot creates a second phantom arrow on the opposite side of the first, increasing the damage done up to 100% of the original arrow. The final archery skill we will be going over today is Holy Arrow. Holy Arrow increases the damage drastically from the bullet effect. Using Holy Arrow will illuminate the area nearby. The arrow used to fire Holy Arrow will be destroyed upon impact, meaning you won't need to go and gather the arrow. Note, Holy Arrow is currently bugged as it doesn't deal damage to players, but will deal damage to mobs. Now that we know what all of the skills are, I'll be going over my personal favorite skills and why I use them. The first skill I have to have in my arsenal is Quick Shot. I like Quick Shot because it allows me to fire a large barrage of arrows at my target, allowing me to flood the enemy with massive amounts of damage and possibly scaring them into backing off. I typically have this skill maxed out as it allows me to gain my next favorite skill, Gathering Stage 2. As long as you have the second tier of Quick Shot, you'll also be able to gain the second stage of Gathering. I typically don't pick up feathers unless I'm using my net, so the first stage is useless to me, meaning I really don't need it. On the other hand, the arrows with the net will not pick them up if they are shot into a wall. Whereas if I use the second stage Gathering skill, I can throw the bag and collect all my arrows. The final skill I prefer to have is Bullet Stage 1. I prefer to only have the first tier, as while it allows me to use Quick Shot, I have to hold the arrow for a couple of seconds to gain the effective bullet. Meaning, I don't get the speed, but I still get the damage, allowing me to line up my shots effectively. The final thing we'll be going over in this tutorial is what kind of equipment you should be running as an archer. It should be said that all of the information in this last bit is up to interpretation. All of what I'm about to say is my own opinion and tests that I have conducted. Now there are a few different things you could possibly do. I've seen people run with only a quiver on their back and a bow on their hip. Alternatively, I like to run with a small leather bag on my back, a bow on a tool hook, and a quiver on my hip. I use this setup so I can hold a lantern and or flashlight on my hip so I can see in not only the mines, but the forest at night. You can make your bow out of any kind of wood, but for my test, the tier list goes as follows, from worst to best. Ashwood. Ashwood has an insanely long draw time. Walnut. Walnut wood has a slightly shorter draw time than Ashwood, but not as much damage. Oakwood. Oakwood has a standard draw speed and damage output, making it a good beginner bow. Birchwood. Birchwood has a slightly higher draw speed than oak, with the same damage output, making it an easy bow to craft. Finally, we have Redwood. A Redwood bow has the fastest draw speed and the highest damage output of all bows, making it a good final bow to acquire. Arrows can be made out of pretty much anything as well. I typically run birch arrow shafts, red feathers, and mithril arrowheads. The shafts will go as follow from worst to best. Ashwood. Ashwood is in last place due to its weight. When trying to shoot an arrow that has an ashwood shaft, it can make the arrow drag and fall to the ground prematurely. Next is Walnut. Walnut wood has the same problem as Ashwood, and its weight is the downfall of its usefulness. Third is Oakwood. Oakwood has a standard weight and durability, making it easy to use as a first arrow. Second, we have Redwood. I put Redwood in second place due to its weight being slightly higher than Oakwood, but it also makes up for it with its higher durability. The best shafts to have, in my opinion, is birch. Birchwood has the lightest weight and medium durability, making it the best for arrows to fly through the air with. From my test, the feathers you use does not affect the arrow as much. I prefer the red feathers because in my test, they tend to make the arrow stay on path and hit the target more often than not. Now, I hope you guys are ready to get out into the world and become the archers you were born to be. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!